Hey, it's Greg here. Welcome to Uncut Friday. And if you're new to the channel, this is something that I do every Friday, or I try to do it every Friday, where I get on and I just speak extemporaneously about whatever subject is on my mind at this point. It's completely uncut, completely unscripted, and it's just as if I'm just talking to you. And it's something I've been experimenting with, and it's starting to get popular. So I'm going to keep doing it until people tell me to just shut up and keep my opinions to myself. I was going to do this outside again, as I've done in past weeks, but it was too windy and too cold, and I thought the wind would be distracting, so I'm doing it inside. Okay, so here we go. I don't know what's going to happen here, and anything goes, okay? So the subject of this video is, so you want to make more money, and if you do want to make more money, you got to give before you get. Okay? Now, this is something that I learned, not necessarily early in life, but, probably my mid-30s when I worked on Wall Street. And it's a very basic principle, a very simple concept. And I'm going to talk a little bit about it and sort of, give you some of my history too, so you know that I'm not just some guy on YouTube, who's basically full of what and just not speaking from true experience. But the whole concept behind it is, if you want to make more money, ironically, you have to forget about making money and focus on creating value. Okay? And value in terms of value for others. Okay, now, the obvious example is you work for a company and you want to get promoted, you want to, make more money. Everybody does, right? But the thing you need to focus on is, how do I create more value for the company so that I deserve to be paid more? Okay, most people think in terms of this sort of self-entitled attitude where, I'm so great, they're lucky to have me. I've been here for 5 years, they should be paying me more, etc., etc., etc. I mean, this strategy basically doesn't work. And also the strategy of focusing on money. While focusing on money can make you wealthy, it's limited in the sense that if you're not focused on money and you're focused more on value, you will just naturally make more money. Okay? Now let me give you a little history on myself here. I started on Wall Street in my late 20s. By the time I was 34, I was a millionaire. By the time I was 38, I was a multimillionaire. By the time I was 40, I was a multi-millionaire. And the only way I did that was by bringing in business for the company I was working for, and by creating much more value from the company than I received. But I only got promoted and I only made more money when I created value for the company, right? It just makes sense. I mean, it makes so much logical sense, but yet so many people are caught up in their own head about, jealousy regarding money, thinking of people out there as the rich and them as poor, and all these mental tricks that they go through in their head, which really isn't profitable and really isn't productive, right? So after leaving Wall Street, I went into commercial real estate full time. I had been involved in that while I was on Wall Street. And I had a company, and we were doing extremely well. And then 2008, 2009 came in, and I took some very serious hits, okay? It was really the first time in my life because, up until that point, I had ups and downs and stuff like that, but the general trajectory was basically up. And even when I failed, I always landed on my feet, and it was like, turned out to be better than it was before. But this was the first time that I really got kicked in the freaking balls, if you know what I mean. And it really hurt. It was tremendously upsetting for me and my family. But I struggled through it. I stuck with it. I recreated myself. And, for the last 10, 12 years, I've been, rebuilding. And, the thing was, through that terrible time that I went through, I learned so much more than the years when on balance I was successful. I learned so much more about investing. I learned so much more about myself. I learned so much more about investing in the stock market, investing in the real estate market, and just really what it takes to become successful and to sustain success in your life. And if I had to encapsulate it into one statement, it would be give before you get. Whatever you want in life, if you give that, in the process of giving it, you receive. Now, this is kind of biblical if you think about it, but and many truths do come out of the Bible. Not wanting to get a religious bent here, but there are many truths in the Bible. But this is one: give before you get. This goes against a lot of the self-entitled people out there. A lot of people in this modern woke culture where everyone is divided into groups and then pitted against each other. The rich against the poor, the black against the white, the tall against the short, the ugly against the good looking. I mean, I've discussed this before in the past. You got to get out of this mindset of looking at people as in groups and then identifying yourself in a group. Okay? The reality is you're not in a group. You're just you. Okay? You're a unique individual. You have unique properties and aspects to your personality and unique strengths that you can offer the world. And the things that you're interested in and the things that you're good at, no matter what it is. I mean, it could be everything from a creative endeavor to something in business. Whatever it is, you have a unique talent. And the key to life is identifying what that talent is and applying it in some kind of situation so that you can create value for others, and you will naturally become wealthy. You don't have to focus on money. Money is a byproduct of the value you create. Okay? And this is one thing I've learned. And I guess the other thing I learned is that failure is an integral aspect of success. You can't succeed without failure. So if you're sitting there being afraid to fail in whatever you're doing, you're really shortchanging yourself, because you need to fail in order to learn, in order to get back on your feet, and in order to reach that next level of success. Now, believe me, you look at someone like Elon Musk, you look at anyone who's massively successful, and you will see a person who has failed miserably. I mean, I can't count the number of times that Tesla has almost gone bankrupt. And Elon Musk was working 24 hours a day, sleeping on the shop floor in the factory, trying to make that thing turn around just to get to the next day, to the next week. The struggle is part of the process. And, there's no such thing as an easy life. Because if you focus on taking it easy, you're going to be poor unless you inherit a lot of money. You have to have a very good relationship to the struggle that's inherent in life and business. in order for you to have the grit and the staying power and the persistence to go through all that failure, frequently in the beginning of something, to get to the level where you succeed. And it takes time, and it doesn't happen instantaneously. And it's a measure of your commitment. Whatever you do, I don't care what it is, you got to be committed. You got to bring your A game every day. And nothing is ever given to you. You know, one thing that I think is just remarkable, I listen to this. Everybody talks every day about income inequality, right? And the social warriors out there, the social justice warriors out there are always talking about, oh, you know, government has to do something to level the playing field and, you know, eliminate this income inequality. Like, how is government ever going to do that? I mean, think about it. It's such a ridiculous thing to be talking about. Income inequality is very simple. I mean, if everybody got off their ass and produced something that was of value, everybody would be a lot more wealthy than they are today. So the way to cure income inequality, in my mind, is for people to stop thinking that they're entitled to anything. Because you aren't. Just by the fact that you're eating and drinking and breathing and existing doesn't entitle you to a thing. And the sooner you realize that, and the sooner you accept that, the better off you'll be. And for the sake of your future and your family's future, and for the sake of lessening, because you're never going to eliminate income inequality, but for the sake of lessening income inequality, you have to adopt the mindset of you're going to do something more in this life than just take up space. You're going to take a stand, create something of value, whether it's at your job or whether it's you're starting a company or doing investing or whatever it is. You're going to take a stand that you are going to be of value to the world. You are going to be of value to other people. And the secret is to find what you're good at and what you're committed to so you can stay in the game and create that value long enough to become truly wealthy. Okay, so I think I'll leave it there. I think I've said enough. I'd love to hear your comments below. If you agree, disagree, have anything else to add. By the way, I've gotten some great comments recently. Fantastic participation among the subscribers and other folks that see the videos. I'm just very gratified to hear that a lot of people went in on some of my recommendations and they've done very well. For example, with Exxon, which is probably the one I've talked about the most. Love the comments, love responding to the comments. When the channel gets big enough, I think I'll start doing some live events where people can ask questions and, you know, we can have some real-time interaction. I think that would be great. But for the time being, love the comments. Please subscribe, like if you got value out of this. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next Uncut Friday, which hopefully will be coming next Friday. And check out the other videos on this channel and subscribe so you can be on board for future videos that will be coming your way very soon.